How's it going, guys? This is John, and welcome to my NEStalgiaholic show. In this episode, I'm going to talk about and explain to you how to play M.A.S.K, the board game. Before I do that, I just want to say a brief history about the show itself. I, first off, love M.A.S.K, the cartoon show. It came out in 1985 through 1986, only on for 2 seasons, believe it or not. It was a kind of a hybrid, and it was to compete with 2 very popular shows during this time, cartoon shows that is. And those were Transformers and G.I. Joe. So it's kind of a hybrid between both those. If you like either of Transformers or G.I. Joe, you would really enjoy this series as well. I actually like the toy line almost better than the TV series, even though the cartoon series was great. Kenner made a fantastic toy line. I did a video on those a while ago, my collection on M.A.S.K. And those toy line was actually supported from 1985 through 1988. This board game by Parker Brothers came out in 1985. Now, M.A.S.K itself actually stands for Mobile Armored Strike Command, command with a K, not a C, of course. And then the M.A.S.K group themselves, their antagonists in the show was called Venom. And Venom actually stands for Vicious Evil Network of Mayhem, which is pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool name. So without any further ado, let me show you kind of the front cover of this M.A.S.K itself. It's very cool. You can see the box art, very cool. And then on the back, it shows you the board game itself. Now, this is more of a card game than it is really a board game. You'll see why here in a second. So without any further ado, let's take a closer look at what's inside this, and I'll explain to you how to play M.A.S.K, the board game. Here's a board game. Very cool design, I think, anyway. Pretty basic. You have each 4 corners has a Venom space, which is important in a very important piece in space in the board game itself. You have Boulder Hill in the middle. That's kind of where you start, but there's some cards there that will get you by. Now, as I mentioned before, this is more of a card game than a board game. It comes with 48 different cards. You have 4 M.A.S.K cards, which are really important cards. These are Boulder Hill bunker cards. These are different matching cards. So you got Switchblade. There's different vehicles in the series. Gator. There's a Boulder Hill. See different ones. Jackhammer. You also have, there's Rhino. You can see it looks very similar to Transformers there. Venom cards, which I'll explain what those do as well. So there's pretty much, you have your M.A.S.K cards, you have your Boulder Hill cards, and you have these various vehicle cards. And it's kind of like Go Fish. Essentially, you're supposed to match and pair up these cards. The object is the first player to collect 5 pairs of M.A.S.K super vehicle and or Boulder Hill bunker cards win the game. And that's how you win the game. So it's not like where you start from spot A and you go to B and at the end of the game you have to collect these cards. Each player, this is a 2 to 4 player game. Each player starts off with, let me show you before I start off, this you get a die, of course. And you have these vehicles. These are the vehicles. They're different colors. I have 3 of the 4 vehicles remaining. I'm assuming the other one I think was blue. They could have done a better job with these, in my personal opinion. You start off in the center here. Each player gets 4 cards randomly, but you have to shuffle these cards first. So to start the game, each player gets 4 cards face down, and then 3 cards face up. And the remaining cards, you're supposed to look through, find the remaining M.A.S.K cards, and you're supposed to take those out of the game. So if you got those M.A.S.K cards initially, those are the only chance you can get of getting a M.A.S.K card. And that's a very important card in the game. I'll explain a little bit more why. The remaining cards you divide up in these 4 corners here. Now, obviously, you want to roll the die, and the player with the highest roll goes first, and then it goes left. So the next player to the left would go next. So you roll the die. There's 6. You can go here. These are different spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you land on a Venom spot like this, then you can add a card to your deck. The object is to get these pairs. Now, there's several ways the players can kind of go against each other. Say I have a player here in the purple, and player green lands on the purple, and you don't necessarily have to roll a perfect roll. For example, if I'm here, green, and I roll a 4, I can actually stop here. You don't have to go the full spot. So I land on purple, I automatically have an opportunity to take one of the player's cards facing up. So if player red had a card facing up, I can take it. If I had that matching the vehicle, for example, if I had a Condor and he had another Condor, that's a pair, and I would put the pair underneath the board like that, and I would say that I have a pair of vehicles. Okay. Now, say for example, green is on the Venom spot, and he's already pulled the card for him, and I land on his card right there, I get not only one of his cards, but I also get a second card. So it's a very cool strategy as well. Now, say I want to get across fairly quick. Now, there are shortcuts. There are also shortcuts in the game. And say I'm player yellow, and I want to go across here, the valley, and go to this other orange spot here. I can do that if I play a pair of cards, of super vehicle cards, which would be matching cards. So if 2 switchblades, I can play that, and that would move me from here to here. Okay, so that's a good move as well. There's also these boulder hill bunker cards. If I have a vehicle here and I want to move shortcut across the boulder hill, I can actually play those, and I need a pair of these. I can play those and move over here like so. But otherwise, if I didn't have those cards, I have to go all the way around. So that's another cool thing as well. Now, there are Venom cards as well in the deck, and if you play a Venom card, you don't necessarily need a pair of Venom cards, just one. You can play a Venom card. So say I am player red, and I said I want to play player green. I said I have a Venom card here that I want to play. That allows me to select one of his cards at random in his deck. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And so it's a nice strategy as well. Now, as I mentioned before, there are M.A.S.K cards, and there's only 4 M.A.S.K cards. They're very limited, and you may not even have a chance of getting a M.A.S.K card, but this is what the M.A.S.K card looks like. So if player red plays that Venom card and wants to pull one of my cards, if player green has a M.A.S.K card, that actually null and voids that move. So he can't take that pair from you, which is cool. So essentially, the M.A.S.K card is more of a preventative card, more of a defensive card. So the M.A.S.K card out trumps the Venom card. So just to kind of recap, the object of the game is to collect at least 5 pairs of super vehicle cards, which are like these. All right. So here's a pair. I had a pair right here, and say I played these. That's 1. So the goal is to collect 5 of those, or super bunker cards. Once the first player to do that, essentially wins the game. Pretty easy game to pick up and play. It does follow the game, the show in some sense, because it has the vehicles and has the M.A.S.K and the Venom and stuff like that. But love the artwork on the back of the cards. Let me know if you guys ever remember playing this game. Let me know what are some of your favorite board games growing up as a kid are. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon. Appreciate you guys subscribing. Take care.